I think this is actually our, this is Odin himself. This is our faction leader. This is our king.
Oh, okay. So if this guy dies right now,
our faction heir will come in, take the reins, but we don't want to lose him.
It's very bad.
We don't want to lose him, do we?
Nominated heir of Ruger, but of course Attila himself will come along at a later point in the game, and then he can become your faction heir as well.
Right. Okay. So it is open ground, but it is quite a hilly terrain. So we are on the.
You're on a mountain.
Yeah, we're on the slope down. So we will try, if we can, try and get up on the high ground, use the cavalry to sweep down, and then see what we can do. This is going to be hard.
Your charge is going to be insane if you're charging downhill there, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Let's move everyone over here. Get them over here.
So also another thing to note, not kind of strictly going to happen in this battle, but we've really brought in scouts as an important thing. They're like one of the first support units we've had in the Total War. Like, they've got really good vision, they're really fast, they're really light, they can hide, and you can literally just use them to scout out the battlefield and kind of find the enemy positions and then utilize that knowledge to actually outwit them.
But there's a risk that they'll get discovered while they're doing that, right?
There is, and they're not very good at fighting. They will they will get like quite badly beaten up if they get in a battle, but they might work kind of similar to a light unit. You could use them to attack in the flank of an already breaking force and use that to kind of knock their morale a bit more and then have them retreat. But yeah, like they're literally just their support.
Get in,
they're to
just
kind
do
of
that.
help you out and let you know about the battlefield, because of course knowledge is power.
Yeah. Well, we've clicked start battle now, so let's see.
So you might want to look at getting your cav up to the top of the hill as quickly as possible.
It's immense concentration now. The whole of Twitch is going to judge you on this one battle.
Oh God, I can feel it. I can feel it.
How does it make you feel to know that they're going to all watch you get smashed?
And you're going to watch me as well. You'll probably never live it down, knowing what you're like. You'll probably.
What are you trying to say about my personality?
You'll be reminding me of this for years to come.
Oh yes.
You even brought up that battle we fought about 5 months ago on Rome 2 before. So yeah, he never forgets.
What happened in that battle?
You beat me. Okay, you beat me. There you go.
That's all I wanted.
Twitch.
That's why I brought you here.
Yeah. So Twitch, no. Right. Okay. So we're going to take the high ground. Now we are on the edge of the map as well, which could help us in some way. I know. Okay, maybe redlining it a bit here, but we're going to try and sit back with these guys here on this top of the hill here. Try and see where the enemy come from. Utilize the cavalry effectively. Use that hill advantage and charge down.
I don't want to give you a counter strategy or anything, but all those armies were coming in
dribs and drabs.
Separate.
Yeah.
So it's 4 separate stacks, which is kind of standard for the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western and the Sassanids. Is you have a load of small armies, which in times of trouble you start recruiting more troops and mercenaries, and then go out and fight. Kind of like firefighters, you put down the little problems in certain areas, and you get bigger whenever you need the reinforcements. And because you have a lot of cavalry, you could do a good job of picking off 2 or 3 of these armies on the way in.
Yeah.
But that boat might have already sailed.
Well, let's see what we can do. We'll start bringing our...
Also, don't forget to, every so often, to rest some of your units.
Yeah.
They will regain it quite quickly, but you don't want to always keep on the move. It could end quite badly for you.
I've got walking stance on now, so that's going to hopefully...
But you can run. It's just you've got to make sure that they do rest at some point.
Okay.
So you will have some units that are very light, and they'll be really good to go forward and scout. And it's very interesting to find out exactly where they're going. As you can see, they're going to try and group up as a mass group here and kind of fight you in that kind of traditional Roman style of just grinding you over with infantry. And they do have a lot of skirmishes, so you want to be careful. You want to chip away at any cavalry they have, and then try and separate those skirmishes from the heavy infantry.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important to remove their range support. They're going to be your big weakness. You don't really have shields on your units apart from your spear infantry, so your cavalry are basically sitting ducks to anyone throwing a javelin, for example.
This is one of those situations, though, where no matter how much advice you give here...
It'll probably make it worse the more we give, I think. It's too many cooks and all that. But like, there's lots of kind of little things. Once again, all the little improvements, like, you know, if you hold down space, you can see the kind of fatigue of all your units and stuff like that. Like, we've tried to bring lots more information kind of front-facing to the player. So it looks like it's still fairly even. I think there's more Romans on the way, though.
It's all right at the moment, but I think soon.
The
tide of war will change.
I don't want to be a pessimist, though. It's not cool.
No, we've got total faith in you.
So also remember, as the Huns, your general is like your best unit on the whole battlefield, as they were. Like, they were kind of warrior kings, basically. So, like, you know, those guys are strong, but once again, if they fall, you're going to have to deal with the problems.
Yeah.
And it's the same with governors, right? If your governor's in a battle, it really helps. But if they die, you've lost your governor. That whole province has lost the person who was leading it.
Have you attempted something like this when you've played?
What kind of, like...
Just storming into a battle where you are hopelessly outnumbered and, frankly, you know, it's kind of pointless.
Well, as part of my Hun training, as I was
Hun training.
going through it, I was, I fought quite a few battles where you're massively outnumbered, but when you play well, you might not win, but you can deal so much damage to them with your Hunnic forces that actually they might as well have not won. They'll get a Pyrrhic victory. Like, you'll get Pyrrhic.
It's a good charge from the hill here.
So.
Oh, nice.
So what that does, obviously, it's trying to protect our general. That's the most important thing at the moment, as Simon said. You know, you lose your general with the Huns, it is bad.
But you've also got to use him, so it's
it's
a rock and a hard place.
The one thing it's really cool is when you pick your faction at the beginning of the screen, you'll see like the model, and you'll see the faction leader, and it's represented with a unique model. In the actual campaign, that will be the person leading the force, and you can see them. So everyone has a unique one. I checked just before the battle started. He's not actually fighting against the Eastern Roman Emperor, but sometimes when you fight in these battles, you'll notice it's the faction leader who's running the force, and that kind of makes you want to find him and hunt him down. So you might lose the battle, but if you can kill their faction leader, it can completely change the way the campaign plays out. They might treat you differently through doing that.
Tense. Come on.
So once again, these are all quite early tier units as well. So kind of the battle we fought before, the historical battle, was actually more kind of mid to late tier units.
Yeah.
This is early tier units, right? Their morale's all a bit shaky, and the Romans still have kind of some of the vestiges of the old Roman Empire there. So they've still got some discipline in their troops.
Yeah, by this time, a lot of the troops that the Romans were actually recruiting were Germanic themselves, lots of Goths and even Huns. Yeah, so around about this time, that the Romans themselves weren't really Romans anymore in a way. They were very much a confederation in their own right, or of an empire that just assimilates everyone. And that's also why the Huns became quite successful, as they did the same. They did subjugate, but they did turn a lot of the equipment and tactics against their opponents, and that's why they became so good at sieging as well. Something that, you know, at that point, steppe factions hadn't been very good at. You put a wall up, and that pretty much stopped the classic nomadic factions. But as soon as they started incorporating that kind of siegecraft from the Romans and so forth, they became a very serious threat. And you can see, like, with the horse armies, it becomes very difficult to really tie them down, and you end up just chasing them in a lot of cases. And eventually you'll have a lot of infantry as the Huns as well. You've got to have a mix in a way. You can have this kind of vanguard, which is like pure cavalry, and they can hit and run and do a lot of damage, but you'll have at some point either mercenaries or levies that you take from your client states, and they'll be the kind of like, they're the guys that you're going to send into the breach when you try and take Constantinople, or when you take any walled city, because you need that, like, well, cannon fodder basically, and your cavalry are never going to be cannon fodder.
So also the nice thing to note as well is, like, the Hunnic archers can actually fire while moving and fire while not facing their enemy. They get the Parthian shot ability quite a lot. So actually you don't even need to engage your target. They'll simply shoot the units around you.
Oh god!
How are you feeling here? What thoughts?
It's okay. I mean, I'm doing okay, but the thing is, there's too many numbers. The thing is, they're starting to sort of envelop me in a way. They're coming from a couple of sides now, and the centre's going. I mean, look at that. They've got a couple of units wavering already, which is good, obviously, but there's more waves coming in, wave after wave.
You need to get rid of those archers that are kind of causing quite a bit of damage, but the problem is they are defended. If you can find their general and try and take them out, whenever everything's getting really tense and close and you think you're going to lose, I always find you might as well just throw it in and just go for that general unit. If you take him out, that's a massive morale effect. But the danger is it will happen to you as well. So if you lose your general here, your Khan, your great leader, you're in trouble. So, you know, balance that with killing theirs. No pressure at all. The world is watching.
You can do it.
Of Twitch.
Of Twitch, yeah.
The Twitch world.
Here we go. There he is.
And all the people that watch this in replays for video on demand.
The past broadcasts, yeah, and things like that.
There'll be more doing that. So
oh, yeah, absolutely. This is not over today.
I think you should try not to get too bogged down in the kind of long, drawn-out melee.
Yeah.
Like, the Huns kind of don't win over time.
Don't win it.
I mean.
So these guys here, you're saying, Simon?
Yeah, so basically, like, especially your cav, make sure they don't stay in battle too long. You're going to lose over time. You're kind of... When the Huns are so outnumbered here, it's going to be really tough, but you've almost got to control the battle. You've got to do lots of kind of charges and then feint away to draw them away, and then use your archers to kind of shoot the enemy in the back. Stuff like that. There's a lot of kind of finesse tactics that you should really be using that will really kind of help you out.
So back over here, got to go for this, as you say, these skirmisher units over here. Try and pull them away.
But also, if the enemy are in a position where you're going to be weak against them, you can, especially if you're kind of lots of cavalry, you can pull your cavalry and actually strike back once you've got them in a position that you're happy with it, rather than the other way around. Also, as the Huns, it's better to attack than defend in general.
Yeah. Just looking at more Twitch questions here. I know we touched on it earlier, but there are naval battles. Just tell us a little bit. Come on, go on. Naval battles, someone.
I really like the naval battles.